What's up, everybody? It's Vlad again, and today we're going to talk about the difference between real trading and paper trading. What is the deal? Do you make more money when you just paper trade and use fake money? Or do you make more money using real money? What's the whole thing about? Well, here's the deal. There's a whole conspiracy going on with this that people swear that for whatever reason, you make more money when you fake trade, but when you start putting in real money, you don't make that money. Well, is it true? I'm going to say we're going to break this really down to some major components. First, let's talk about the technicals, right? Like, realistically, is there a difference? Well, one thing you got to remember, a lot of people believe that when you're trading, and if you look at just the way we look at trading in general as a broad spectrum, people believe that we're going against the market. Like, there's this big conglomerate thing and we got to trade against them, and you know what, they're setting us up. Well, if you're talking about a casino where the house always wins, that is the truth. You're playing against the house. In the market, that doesn't work that way. When you're buying a stock or an option, you have somebody else on the other side, a human being who has an opposite belief to you and thinks something opposite of what you will, and they're actually selling you something. So you're really playing with human beings. If I had to guess, like, if I could compare it to a casino, I would say Texas Hold'em, because you're playing against another human being. So if you're playing another human being, how can there be differences? Couple things. One is there is one difference, for sure. When you're trying to do orders with options especially, or even with stocks, you try to buy a certain price. Well, for you to buy that certain price, you got to get filled at that price. There will be inconsistencies at what price you get filled. And what I mean by filled is when you click buy, sometimes prices change. You may not get the same pricing you would as if you did real trading, just because it's trying to simulate real life, and sometimes the supply and demand, it's just hard to do. But outside of that, okay, one thing I've noticed with my students is they come to me because they're sick of going to different channels and learning different aspects of the business, and they're just really confused. And what they want is clarity. So what we provide them is a specific step-by-step process. And most students that start with us and they get the mentorship and we hold their hand, they really are humble and they really try to follow every single rule. Now, we have a money back guarantee for a reason. We say if you're not making money with our formula, followed step by step, we give you your money back, right? Never have to give any money back because it works. So, and I would say majority of students, when they first start, they really master that formula. And what does that have to do with paper trading, right? They always paper trade those pieces and they really get into a rhythm. And what happens at the beginning, we look at their trade, we analyze their trade, we make sure that they're doing a good job. And to a point where they really get every step. So when they get every step down, you start seeing consistent results, right? That it's just part of the system. So when you start seeing consistent results, a couple things happen. When you're making $800 a day, $1,000 a day, $500 a day, people start getting comfortable with what they're doing. And during that paper trading moment, there's a shift. Because people always ask, like, when should I start using real money? Well, it really depends on you. Usually, when you start seeing huge results in the beginning and you're using fake money, there's going to be a point where you say, wow, I keep winning all of them. I understand this formula. Let me go into it. Here's what happens. It happens to every single person, including myself. We all say, like, look, I want to make money. I want to help my family. That's all I really care about. I'm not a gambler. Totally understand. But when you're winning time and time and time again, you get positive reinforcement. And when you get positive reinforcement, you feel kind of invincible. Like anything you do, anything you touch turns to gold. And the second you start feeling that is when things start shifting to the downside. All of a sudden, you start breaking a couple rules. You start bending a couple rules because, hey, who cares? It's working. Unfortunately, those rules start getting broken when you're trading real money. And here's the other part of it. Once you start trading real money, that shift in changing the rules, not following certain things, scales times 100. Because now you have a whole different aspect involved, which is the emotional piece. And we go into a lot of the things when it comes to mindset and how do you control the inner game of your brain. But overall, once you start trading real money, you start making, you start losing. You're not as cool-headed anymore because now you're either losing too much and you're freaking out even though you're not supposed to, because sometimes stocks do go down before they go up. Happens all the time. And sometimes the stock goes up and you get too excited and you didn't get out of it at a certain time. So what happens is your decision making gets vague. And in result, that those real trades become more horrific because you stop doing the things that made it work. Guys, a good example is take a relationship, okay? If you think about when you get into a relationship with a boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, right? In the beginning, it's always a beautiful thing, right? You meet someone, you love them, you'll do anything in the world for them. You'll throw out the trash for them, you'll do anything. Because you go through this melting phase where you just give each other attention, you go on this high, and the relationship flourishes. Take that relationship 5 years later, it's no longer the same relationship. Well, why not? It's two same people. Did someone change? What happened? What happened was you stopped doing the things you did in the beginning of your relationship. All of a sudden now when somebody asks you something, you don't give them the same attention. You become a more prioritized with other things. And once you don't give each other the same needs you gave when you started a relationship, it's no longer going to be the same relationship. So here's a couple things for you. Number one, if you're on a relationship and you want to fix your relationship, go back to what you used to do in the beginning of the relationship and you'll go back to where it was. It's really sometimes that simple. You gotta do the things that got you there. In trading, if you learn the system, now if you don't have a system, that's a whole different story. You really need to learn a system, and that's a whole different aspect of the game. Because if you don't have the right system, the right steps, well then it doesn't matter if you're paper trading or you're trading real money. I just don't recommend you trading real money. You need to get a mentor. That's what we do. We mentor people. So whether you use me or anybody else who you trust, who you feel has the right system with a money back guarantee, something like that, learn the system first. Once you get that system down, practice it. And then when you go into a real trading, do the same thing you did in paper trading when it came to emotions, when it came to the rules you follow. Don't change anything. Consistency will win every single time. And what you'll notice is I've seen people make a lot of money paper trading and then they make a whole ton more in real money because they learned how to control the inner game. They used our mentorship. They did the right thing and everything works out. And then there's some who feel like they got it. Listen, when you feel you got it, it's the beginning of the end. Period. You never fully get it. Always stay humble. Always know that the market is not prejudiced at all. It'll beat you up no matter what if you break those rules. And here's the other thing. Some people don't know why the rules are there, even though we explain it. They will learn once they take a loss. The reality is my program was created based on a lot of losses I've taken or I've learned from others and said, hey, if I took this loss, maybe I should put a rule in there to take care of that. Some people want to learn it on their own. But if you follow the rules emotionally, technically, stay consistent, be humble, paper trading and real trading will be identical. Minus the whole fill thing, that's not a big deal. In fact, I will tell you this much, getting filled with the real trading is a lot easier. So guys, hope you really enjoyed this explanation. And if you like what you hear, please like the video and subscribe so you can get more videos like this and really be able to master the market on a much deeper level and be able to leave your job, take more vacations, and live life on your terms based on trading. See you in the next video.